Bloody hot, man, today. Is my hair okay? Concentrate. All right. Okay.
Action.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pixel Village, and I'm Radha Krishnan. And yes, welcome back to Lodha Belmondo, Pune. This is where we're going to be doing a lot of videos from now on. In fact, we did one couple of videos back. Brilliant place. Please check that out. It's actually a very hot summer morning, and during the day the temperatures are likely to go up to about 42 degrees centigrade. Not humid, but going to be dry. It was 41 plus yesterday. Anyway, let's get back to business. We're going to be talking about another Sigma. This time it's the 2870 2.8 from their contemporary series. Well, you know, Sigma has a very well-defined ranges of products for you to choose from. The art series for the highly demanding professional. Then you have the contemporary, lightweight, compact, cost-effective without compromising the quality. That's the contemporary. Then you have, of course, the sports. They're long lenses, purpose-built for sports photography. This one, as I told you, is from their contemporary series. And this was launched almost a year back. And I must also tell you that they announced the lens and they delayed it to fix something which they found wrong or not so right in their lens. That's about the Japanese. You must give it to them for admitting and telling them that, look, there was something wrong in the lens. We need to fix it before we release it. And they delayed it and fixed it and released it. So it's the 2870 f2.8. Now, they say that it has, the design is derived from the 2470, the f2.8, which is like a mother of all lenses from their art series. It's bigger, it's more heavier and more expensive, but this one is the lighter series, which is based, I mean, it is not a rehoused lens for sure, because this has less number of elements inside, and it's much more compact. It's f2.8 and it's got a smaller, filter size. So it's not a rehoused lens. It's a new design, but it is based on their 2470. So 2870 f2.8. It's about 470 grams. Now, these days, the weight has become a selling point for many. I don't know why. I mean, I keep saying about me being from the dinosaur age, started using films and stuff like that. And the weight was not really a selling point at that time. Sometime in the recent years, when the masses, lots of people started doing photography, then they probably brought this up as one selling point. Mirrorless cameras, compact body, lightweight, so hence the weight of the lens also had to come down proportionately. It's not so with, let's say, now this is made for Sony and also the L Mount. It's available in that already. If you look at the lens, the other lenses available, the Sony, the original G Master lens in the same range is huge. It's it makes the camera front heavy, and it's hugely expensive. And this one is nice and compact, and if you want to kind of travel, because this range actually lends itself to a lot of traveling, 2870 candid photography. And this really helps you. Very compact, it sits very nicely in your bag, pull it out, shoot whenever you want. So, and it's also, like I said, very light on your pocket. This, like I said, is from their contemporary series, the DGDN. The DCDN is for the mirrorless cameras, and this is the DGDN full frame mirrorless camera lens for Sony and L Mount. 67 mm standard filter mount. built with a polycarbonate. They very clearly say that this is thermal resistant so that you can heat resistant. So the polycarbonate doesn't kind of shrink or expand when it is subjected to huge temperature variation. Made in Japan. So that's a big assurance, And things which are made in Japan had to be good. I mean, this is what my experience is. Very minimalistic. It kind of follows the contemporary design philosophy. Only one switch on the lens body, which is AF MF selection switch. And of course, this wonderful contemporary logo. So very good focusing ring and a zoom ring. Very smooth. And of course, this is the ring. This ring is again for manual focusing. And brilliant. Of course, this is moisture resistant, but weather resistant only at this point where the mount, the metallic bayonet mount meets the body. That place is weather resistant. Now, when you talk about lens characteristics, you like the distortion, edge sharpness, vignetting, let's say fringing, all those things have, to a great extent have become irrelevant according to me. The reason is that they've started fixing it in the camera. Now, the cameras are intelligent. It's got a chip, it's got a program chip inside. The lens has its own electronics inside. It constantly is in communication with the body, and all those deficiencies are most of the time fixed while you shoot. If you want to really see the real image, shoot raw, go to Lightroom, switch off all the presets, and you will see how the original image is going to look like. You will suddenly see all those so-called optical defects start showing up. Now, this one is an intelligent lens. It constantly talks to the camera. So if you are someone who don't really want to spend time trying to physically correct in the post, all you have to do is to pick your lens correction menu in your camera, switch everything to auto, your distortion, your aberration, and vignetting to auto, and you're done. And the system takes care of it. And these days, that's all that you need. Now, anyone who's opting for a zoom lens is obviously doing it for a reason, right? He wants to travel compact. He wants a compact lens which will do a whole lot of things. He wants it at a budget and things like that. In such cases, of course, the trade-off is definitely quality. It's not really apparent because it's being corrected internally. But if you are a Puritan photographer and he wants that exacting, detailed kind of an image, then of course, prime lenses are still your option. You must go for those fine prime lenses. And in fact, the Contemporary series has a series of prime lenses, which are their I series, Contemporary I series. They have 3 lenses which we reviewed. I'll add a link in the description. Beautiful. They are made for a professional at a price. At a better price. Those 3 lenses were brilliant, made of metal in the good old-fashioned way. It had an aperture ring and things like that. Okay, now back to this lens. I think this lens will be a perfect lens for someone who's traveling. A light lens will do a whole lot of things, right from a nice candid shots to a good portrait. It also has a great minimum focusing distance. It kind of gives you good bokeh at all focal lengths. And what else? It's also light on your pocket. Well, I think wedding photographers are going to definitely like it. Sony is a very popular camera. In fact, their new A7 Mark IV is a runaway success. People are actually queuing up outside the store like they would queue up for an iPhone launch, This is perfect for that camera. And without, of course, losing any quality. It is also good for vloggers. It's good for video. I mean, we'll do a little bit of test on video as well. And yeah, so what we do is we will come back in the afternoon. We'll have a model and we will do a few stills and videos, and we will also talk about, let's say, the speed in which it is acquiring focus, the smoothness in the way it kind of follows focus, bokeh, sun star, etc., because that's very important for, let's say, a landscape traveling photographer who shoots a lot of landscapes and stuff. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll come back, but prima facie, well, my impression or my assumption is that it cannot be any different from the other contemporary lenses that we had tried. The last one we tried was for the Fuji mount. They were the DCDNs, excellent lenses and amazing price. We'll add a link to that as well. So what we do is we'll wait for the sun to kind of cool down, and we'll get into that shoot after that and see how this lens fares. Let's shoot some stills and some videos. Let's take a look at it. Well, we first tried the starburst. You know, at f22 it gave brilliant starbursts. Then we tried the bokeh at 28 mm and at 70 mm. Both looked very good. Then we took some quick shots, random, checking for sharpness. And also this lens also has, very interestingly, very nice close focusing distance. Slightly less than the 24-70, but still reasonably acceptable. And I got some very good results. And of course, then we went ahead and shot some videos with it. We had our friend Madhav helping us doing this video. And well, we shot everything handheld, and we actually shot everything against the sun. And well, because, you know, Sigma talks about the ability of this lens to handle flare and backlighting situations, etc. And of course, the lens definitely did that very well. Well, you can see from these results, you know, the sharpness was nice. The color rendition was brilliant. Of course, we did a little bit of grading in Lightroom, but the rendition was very nice. The focus fall-off was very good. Focus acquisition was very good. Overall, a brilliant lens that I will definitely recommend. Now let's take a look at the video too. for now.